Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Hope everybody's off to a good start so far. I've been using my downtime to work on some projects. I want to take a few minutes to talk about one of them. Recently, a gentleman on the Corvette forum got in touch with me looking for some help on his race car project. He had installed a quick release removable steering wheel, and in doing so, he lost the different controls that are present on the stock steering wheel. Most of that stuff's not really that important on a race car, but one of the things he wanted to keep was the controls here for the digital dashboard. Mainly so that you can clear out indicators like this, like showing your trunk's open, or you're reconfiguring it for some of the other different dash displays or settings or options that are in there. So in any case, he was having some problems figuring out where to tap into the harness to get it all going, and he wanted to kind of get my advice on a couple things. So he was talking about getting a splice into the dash harness here on top of the steering column. And I had really recommended strongly against that, just because that harness is a major part of the car. I mean, it's literally from one corner of the car to the other. It's the entire dashboard. And so if you had to replace that because it was damaged, or you just wanted to even just roll back your modifications, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be a super difficult job to pull the dashboard and replace that. And even just finding the right harness is going to be a pain because GM has like 20 or 30 different variations of this thing. So in any case, I went ahead and volunteered to build a jumper harness instead. So what this little pass-through harness will do, it takes the stock connection here from the dash harness, breaks out some wires over here to relocate the switches while also keeping some of the other signals intact for things like the horn, the rev match, or tap shift if your car's an automatic. And also, it doesn't touch anything to do with the airbag, which is this yellow connector here. So we are not messing with this at all. In any case, this little harness breaks out these wires over to the switches, of which you only need 3 to get this to work. Power, ground, and the blue one here is a LIN bus. It's a linear interconnect network. Local interconnect network. It's sort of like CAN bus, but way simpler. It's really only used for things like switches and door motors and sensors and things like that. So it's not very complicated. But in any case, again, you only need 3 wires, and from there, your controls all work. So you can relocate this pretty much anywhere else in the car that you want. I think he said he's going to tuck his down here or something, keep it up out of the way. So that should be fairly straightforward. So hopefully if anybody has any questions about this, you can let me know. Parts to make this are maybe, I don't know, $10 or so. Just a couple connectors, pins, basic wire, a little bit of soldering. The one connector down here, this one here, actually they don't make like a wire version of the connector. So you actually have to take one that's meant for a circuit board, straighten the pins out, and solder onto the pins. That's why these are all got shrink wrap on them. The other thing you probably want to do if you do that is stabilize these pins with like an epoxy, or sometimes I've used a hot glue, mainly just to give them some structural strength, because again, this is meant to go on a circuit board. It's not really meant for to have flying leads like this. But I've seen this done. I've been doing this for quite a while on some previous project cars, even in things, mission critical stuff like engine harnesses, and never really had a problem with it. So I know there's also some vendors, primarily a lot of like import vendors that make like jumper harnesses and flying lead harnesses. I think like Boom Slang's one of them. I've seen for HKS, a few of the other ones, and it's kind of an accepted practice. So I'm not too worried about doing it this way, especially for something just like this for switches. So that can be a good way to avoid cutting into your stock harnesses, save yourself a little bit of pain and trouble. And it's also real nice to be able to make these harnesses up on a workbench where you can actually work on them and solder everything and cut everything. You just get it all nice, rather than having yourself crushed under a dashboard or trying to work here on top of the steering column where, like I said, there's not a lot of room here. So in any case, hope that explains a little bit about this, maybe help somebody out in the future. If you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, hope everyone has a good, safe, and happy New Year. Take care.